morning, everybody. My name is Pamela Robinson Jones. I am 20 years old. Before joining Year Up, I was a young mother. I was told that my life was over. I was told that I wouldn't amount to anything, and that I would become financially dependent on the state. Some people will let those words be the beginning of their struggle. I let it be my motivation. With Year Up, I had transformed into a young lady, although it wasn't an easy road. I was almost homeless. I lived in more than 6 houses in less than a year. And at one point, I had to take 8 buses with my young son to make it to his daycare and my internship on time. At one point, I felt like quitting and just throwing in the towel. But that all changed when I earned my internship at Lifespan. At Lifespan, I wasn't just an intern there. I was part of their family. I thank you all for having my back and for all the laughs that we shared together. My colleagues and I are thankful for our dedicated supervisors and managers who join us here on today. You prepare us for success in the corporate world. And because of my internship at Lifespan, I'm skilled with all aspects of HR. I'm still looking for my next job. So please know that you may find my resume on the table. I had yet to add one bullet point. I was the opening speaker at graduation. Also, to all our mentors that are with us here today, we thank you. In fact, I want to give a special shout out to my mentor, Brandon Melton, who somehow is not here today. Brandon and Lifespan are a company that cares deeply about their employees. And no, Brandon didn't pay me to say that. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to all our corporate leaders, Director Sandra Powell, Congressman David Cicilline, Majority Leader Nicholas Matteo, Angela Romans, and Relly Ritter, the Senator White House Office, and Rick Brooks, the Executive Director of the Governor's Workforce Board, and our elected officials, Atrion, AFL-CIO, GTEC, Connected EDU, CCRI, and the residential properties, who believed in being my colleagues. We're also thankful for sponsors like GTEC, Covidian, Microsoft, Bank of America, AAA, CVS, Lifespan, Navigant Credit Union, Hasbro, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island, and Stop and Shop, who invest their companies in our future. Also, I was at the most recent Year Up fundraiser, the Providence Party, and I was inspired by the number of individuals who invest in Year Up in our futures. So to each of you, I thank you and welcome you to the celebration of my class. Finally, it's hard to express, but Year Up has a staff team that I love, and I just wanted to say thank you to each of you, especially my advisor, Tekla Moquin, who's standing in the back. After all, my son Jamai has gained many aunts and uncles within you all. And to my colleagues, thank you for supporting me when I felt weak and as if I couldn't go on. But I know our journey is only beginning. My journey is one example of 34 journeys that have brought my class to this day. When you look at us, I hope you will remember how we grew on our Year Up, but not forget the more than 14,000 18 to 24-year-olds in Rhode Island who, if given the opportunity, would demonstrate their talent and ability to change their future as well. Today, you're celebrating 34 of us at Class 15 graduation breakfast, so we thank you. Now it brings me a great pleasure to introduce the woman I looked up to from day one. Even though she really needs no introduction because you all know her as the passionate leader of Year Up, here is our Executive Director, Megan Hughes.
Thank you, Pamela. I have loved having you as a star member of Class 15. I know just what it took for you to arrive at Lifespan every morning ready to work, and I'm grateful. for your strong work ethic and your commitment to your own advancement. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today to celebrate Class 15. Our graduates have worked tirelessly to reach this room, and this ceremony is only the beginning. By tomorrow, 1/3 of them will be headed to their new full-time jobs with our corporate partners around the state. And an additional 6% have already enrolled as full-time college students. Three more points. We have another 10% right now with possible job offers in play. So by the time this graduation finishes, we should be reaching close to a 50% higher or college placement rate. That's the first thing. The second thing is, Pamela told me right before she walked up here, she has a job at Covidian, I should say a job interview at Covidian. So if based on her comments you're interested in her, I would say make sure you make your way right to her because she's definitely in play. The third thing is, I went to the Boston graduation last night, and there were these terms talked around like we're the oldest and we're the biggest, and some claim about like 50% placement rate already. I intend to be able to announce on tomorrow's call that we're there or better, so please help me do that. So we give our graduates and ourselves 4 months to see at least 85% of them working full-time or in college. Our 4 most recent graduate classes celebrate these outcomes at a rate of 96%, 90%, 90%, and 92% respectively. I'm confident that this class, Class 15, will claim similar success. Our young adults and our corporate partners have done this in the teeth of a recession, and despite an unemployment number that routinely places Rhode Island at the bottom of the country. Thank you to every person in this room, as I know that each one of you plays a role in our young adult success. 1 month from now, we move into new space in downtown Providence in order to serve twice as many young adults. We are doubling in size for 2 reasons. First, because there are 5 million young adults in this country who are neither employed nor in school, and they're looking for an opportunity to advance. And the second reason is because American companies face a breathtaking shortage in skilled workers. In Rhode Island, as we all know, it is particularly acute. There are thousands of job openings that can't be filled by Rhode Islanders because we haven't trained our own people. Year Up provides opportunity for motivated, intelligent, and talented young adults to move into the economic mainstream of this country through professional employment and higher education. And Year Up provides a highly motivated and professional workforce to American companies. It's a simple model, and it works. So this is my favorite, well, it's not my favorite, it's one of my favorites. We've run an extremely conservative financial model to assess the cumulative earnings that this class and only those that succeeded for the next 5 years will produce. So not the 332 that have already graduated and that are in the workforce, just the ones that start today and the ones we graduate for the next 5 years. Guess what the number is? $30 million. $30 million that our graduates will put into the Rhode Island economy, and I'll tell you 2 things. It's assuming a flat wage. And I can tell you based on the graduates I know, their wages will not be flat. So to Class 15, please stand up and be recognized. So welcome to your families, your friends, your mentors, and your supporters. From the moment you walked through our doors, you impressed our team with your leadership, ambition, intelligence, and focus. So this actually may be my favorite part of the whole day. You've delivered on that potential, graduating today with the highest retention rate of any class in the country over the last 4 years. So I think it's pretty good. It's not even 9 o'clock. We've already all been on our feet. We're off to a good start. But you didn't just go to class and work incredibly hard at your internships. Many of you earned tech certifications on top of your CCRI credits, and you all completed an extensive leadership training workshop led by Atrion CEO Tim Hebert, earned a financial management certification through the Rhode Island Student Loan Authority, donated blood through the Rhode Island Blood Bank, participated in our second joint Walk for Opportunity with the Boston site, led meetings with key influencers at our summer expansion benefit and fall party, met with Tom Ryan, Bill Hatfield, and Don Stanford, led our site's first ever visit to the State House, meeting with Speaker Fox, Representative Mattiello, and your own reps. And one of my very favorites, you attempted to teach me and our team how to dance for the Europe National Retreat. That worked better for some than others. I'll leave that to your imagination. We lost the competition to the Washington, D.C. site, and I'm sure the judges got it wrong. Class 15, your voices are helping to change perceptions of what young adults want and need in this country and state, and for that we thank you. Over the last year, members of your class met with Rhode Island's business leaders and made the business case for Rhode Island to expand. Thanks to your work, as you know, we are indeed doubling. Because of your leadership, we secured critical funding from places like Nellie Mae, the Apple Pickers Foundation, the Rhode Island Foundation, Bank of America, the Starfish Group, many others, and for that we thank you. You did all of this while running forward with your very full lives. You took care of your families and you worked multiple jobs while also attending Europe full-time. Some of you battled homelessness, health challenges, and money worries. All of you have demonstrated courage, determination, and motivation. You have shown us you believe in yourselves and your talent and your ability to add value to Rhode Island companies. And Pamela, I'm glad to see that your mentor is with us. Welcome, Brandon. Can I ask the Providence Europe staff to stand? I want to thank you for the work you put into this class of young adults. I watched each of you sit beside one of these graduates to problem solve. Whether that problem was an essay, a tech assignment, a resume or cover letter, or a housing, transportation, or childcare challenge. I have seen you at this work, early in the morning, late at night, on Mondays, and on Saturdays, and on Sundays. Yeah. Okay. You have worked tirelessly to support this class, and your efforts speak for themselves, and I thank you. And I'm almost done. I want to very briefly share what today represents for Europe. We now operate in 10 cities around the country, from San Francisco to Miami to New York City. By 2016, we will have grown to 12 cities, and we will have served 10,000 young adults in this country. Here's what I know is true about our students. They come to Europe because they are looking for opportunity. Opportunity to work, to go to college, and to show this country that they are our future. So I salute you, Class 15, and I thank you and everyone in this room for the excellent work you've done carrying Europe forward.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank Megan, who has personally helped me in my journey getting here to graduation today. Thank you, Megan. Hello, I'm Jeff. I'm 19 years old, and I interned at Schoolyard. I'm honored to introduce my mentor, Congressman David Cicilline. Having him as a mentor has been an experience I won't soon forget. One of my fondest experiences was being able to have the opportunity to celebrate his recent congressional race win at the Biltmore, actually. It was a lot of fun. And can we get a little applause for David's recent win? David, I'd like to thank you for your guidance and your focus on helping me continue my education. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David Cicilline.
Thank you, Jeff, for the nice introduction and for allowing me to be your mentor. It has been a great year. I want to just first say thank you to Megan for her extraordinary leadership of this organization and to the great Year Up staff. Thank you to all of the companies who are corporate sponsors. Without your support, this program could not exist. And, you know, people often have described America, the genius of America, being this tension between rugged individualism and personal responsibility and this collective sense of community and the sort of combination of those two things. And I think in many ways that's exactly what Year Up represents. It represents the incredible talent of these incredibly determined young people, coupled with a sense of responsibility that we have as a community to help them be successful. And that's really the genius of this country. It's the genius of this program. And as Megan described in those statistics, it's a program that is incredibly cost-effective and incredibly impactful in terms of the lives it touches and the impact it makes on the individuals that participate. So it's the kind of model we need to replicate, frankly, all over this country in much bigger numbers because it really works and it does it in a really cost-effective way. But most importantly, it represents an investment in young people. And I know you all know this because you've worked with many of the people who are graduating today, but this class of graduates is just the most recent example of extraordinary young people who have overcome incredible difficulties to get to this graduation point, that have worked incredibly hard and learned new skills. And it's just an evidence of what they're capable of when given an opportunity. And I think that's our responsibility, to figure out how we create more opportunities. So to everyone who's been a part of this, thank you. To all of the graduates, congratulations. A particular congratulations to Jeff. I'm incredibly proud of you that you got to this graduation day successfully, and wish you continued success. Thank you.
So I'm Bobby Gondola, and I'm the Director of Development at Year Up. And to get started, I just want to say, Congressman Cicilline, thank you so much for your mentorship of Jeff. Jeff is actually one of my advisees, and all staff members at Year Up serve as members of our learning community and as advisors to our young adults. And Jeff is one of mine who will very soon have an acceptance letter to college. So it's through Congressman Cicilline. Congressman Cicilline, it was literally every week that Congressman Cicilline called the Year Up office and checked in on Jeff and said, hey, Jeff's saying this, and I just want to know, should I go in this direction? Should I go in this direction? It was just clear that he cared and that he was there to support Jeff, and that's true of the I think we have 60 mentors in the room today. So it is just a number of people that are just so supportive. So thank you, Congressman Cicilline. I now get to do two things, and because I'm always the one that's mindful of time, I'm going to do them both at the same time. I'm going to present the Leadership Award for the class, as well as introduce our student speaker. It's really my pleasure to introduce my advisee, Terry Che, who is graduating after completing her internship at CVS Caremark. Terry is also the recipient of her class's Leadership Award. This award is given to a graduate who's elected by both her class and the staff as someone who embodies leadership. And Terry, you've embodied leadership since the day you crossed the threshold at Year Up. I'm so sorry. Why am I forgetting what you've done? You've organized professional development workshops with your team at CVS Caremark. You've hosted stakeholders at our site. You've given tours. You've volunteered on a number of things, and you've helped plan the last class's graduation. So it's really my honor to call you up. I have to tell you, Terry, come on up so that you're ready to go. You really have been a role model for your classmates, and to be honest with you, you've inspired me to do my job even better. So with no further ado, my advisee, Terry Che.
Good morning, everyone. I'm extremely nervous today, but at the same time, I'm eager to share my personal story with all of you. The day before my high school graduation, I found out I was 7 weeks pregnant. At the age of 18, I could barely take care of myself, so I had no idea how I was going to take care of another life. Growing up, I was raised in a very traditional family with high expectations. I was taught to value education and was often complimented on my intelligence. Unfortunately, I was sucked into the wrong crowd of friends, dated and affiliated myself with gang members, and lost my motivation to do well in school. I had no one to blame but myself for the poor actions I made, and it seemed as though no matter how hard I tried, I was prone to making nothing but mistakes, one after another. I not only let myself down, but I let down my family. Luckily, by the end of my senior year, I was still able to graduate on time with the rest of my classmates. But for the next year, I struggled balancing working full-time while still managing to take care of myself and my unborn child. The people who I expected to be there for me the most were nowhere to be found, so I was frequently alone. Every day brought me additional anxiety for my future, and I reached such a low point in my life that often I would question the point of my existence. However, 2 years ago, I gave birth to my precious son Armani. As I held my son in my arms for the first time, I realized that it was my job to support, love, and protect my child to the best of my ability. As my son grew, so did my motivation to make it through every day. The struggle of being a new parent was not easy, but my goal was to do everything that I could to provide a healthy and stable life for my child. I soon found myself struggling to get by financially, and I was emotionally beaten. I've learned there is no greater love than the love between a mother and her child. And even though every day was a challenge, I knew I needed to be a role model for him. During this time, I had heard tons of success stories from my friends who had graduated from the Year Up program and who are now economically self-sufficient. They are working in positions with impressive titles at companies such as G-Tech, Fidelity, and Providence Equity. I realized juggling shifts at Walgreens and living paycheck to paycheck was not emotionally or physically sustainable, and I needed to make a change. So I applied to Year Up. Year Up was nothing like I expected. I did not expect it to be easy, and I will admit it was extremely stressful. It was stressful trying to balance my academics, work part-time, and most importantly, be a loving mother to my son 7 days a week. I'm still learning how to achieve balance in my work and personal life, and I have made many sacrifices to stand up here today, the largest in which was the time I took away from my son. While at Year Up, I earned an internship at CVS Caremark as a talent management intern. During my internship, I was given the opportunity to understand more about corporate culture, collaborate with people of all different levels, and grow as a young professional. Interning in human resources has opened up many opportunities for me. While interning at CVS, I was blessed to work with an amazing team. Not once did I ever feel like I was just an intern. I actually felt like part of their team. My colleagues provided me with feedback and were always open to any development opportunities that came my way. Although I continued to struggle balancing my commitments to my internship and my son, I continued to work outside of my internship while somehow still managing to make time for him. In recent weeks, I've been overwhelmed with calls from employers who are interested in my resumes and experiences. And I'm humbled to report that everyone at CVS will now recognize me as an item associate because I was just hired last week. In addition, I will continue studying business administration at CCRI part-time.
Woo!
In all, I have built meaningful relationships throughout my time in Europe, and I am thankful to have such a supportive advisor who has continuously guided me. I would like to say thank you to my mentor, Michelle Saunders, for encouraging me during this time when I began to lose my spark. With the support my advisor, Bobby Gonzala, and the Europe staff provided, I was able to remain motivated throughout the whole program. I also wanted to give a special shout out to the talent management team at CVS for giving me the opportunity to intern with them and helping me grow into the young professional I am today. You have all made my internship experience memorable. Also, I'm reminded of that early encouragement I got from my parents, who instilled a belief in me that education would open up many opportunities, and who have become model grandparents. I can never thank you enough. Lastly, I would like to thank you, Class 15. All of you have made an impact on my life, whether you realize it or not. I've never met such an inspiring group of individuals who are as motivated as I am. We all found our way to graduation for many different reasons, but no matter the obstacles or challenges blocking our paths, whether it's at home, Europe, or at our internships, we all have the strength and willpower to prove to the staff and our corporate partners that we are all valuable assets to Rhode Island's workforce. You all are my motivation. No matter where we all end up, whether that's continuing on to higher education or moving right into employment, I want to wish you all the best of luck. Congratulations, Class 15. We've made it. Thank you.
So while President DePasquale is making his way up, I'd like to let everyone know, after the next part of the ceremony, Chris Alberto, one of our graduates, will be performing a brief musical selection while the food is put on your tables, and then we will resume. Class 15, you stand here as the fourth class to graduate as duly enrolled CCRI students. We have CCRI's leadership with us today to sign a new contract, and we thank you with full hearts, especially President DePasquale, Dean Woodbury, Lois Wims, and Bob Shea. We thank you for your belief in our young adults. Class 15, you now possess 23 credits, halfway towards your associate's degree. So here's what that means. As soon as you get your feet beneath you in your new jobs, we will be counting on you and we will be pushing you to return to school, to complete that associate's degree and to keep moving forward with your education. So, with this in mind, I am delighted to say that President DePasquale and I are now going to sign this new contract. Perfect.
And you're going to stand right here.
Okay. So it is now my pleasure to invite Oneida Escobar and Sugalaf Hong to the stage. I know you guys are here. Oneida, you're at my table. Where's Tommy? Tommy, come on up here. So this is sort of a surprise event, which we love at Europe graduations. You two, do you know why you're coming up? Fantastic. We talk about expect the unexpected. So you are going to receive your CCRI diplomas from your president. These are 2 Europe alums who have just completed their degrees. Congratulations, you all. You lead the way for the next group. So if I can invite Chris to get us going, enjoy a few minutes of eating and we will jump right back in. Thank you. Are the volunteer cards on the tables? Yes, they are. Okay, so if I can just direct everyone's attention to those cards, please consider checking any box you can where you think you can best serve Year Up. One more request. If after being with us today, you think of someone at your company or within your network who you think should get to know us, can you please share that name with us by writing it down on the card or simply connecting with me or a Providence team member after graduation? Ted is pointing out there are books of resumes on the table. Every graduation we have folks hired right out of those books. So please take those back to your HR teams. Please take a look at them and again connect directly with our team for any feedback about particular strengths. Last comment I want to make, almost everyone in this room knows that we're a contract-driven program. And the gentleman I'm about to present will need to leave directly after he speaks to make a plane, but he did call, so that's notice and just a 15-point infraction. I don't know why I'm clapping. I thought it was funny. So it is now my honor to introduce Rich Melia. It's going to be like 30 seconds. So one of my favorite parts of my job is that I have the opportunity to connect people I admire to our students. And Rich is one of those people. I will spend less time enumerating his many professional triumphs because I know that it's not where he wants the focus to be. So I'll start there, and I'll be brief. He led Covidien, a global healthcare products company, for more than 20 years, growing it from $600 million in sales to $11 billion, and stepped down as CEO and president in 2011 and as chair just last year. I think it's possible he retired because there simply wasn't time to both run the company and deliver the volunteering hours Europe required. Rich earned a BA from St. Anselm College and an MBA from Boston College. He serves on multiple boards, including Apollo Endosurgery, Triangle Inc., Tufts Medical Center, and St. Anselm College. Rich also serves as chairman of the board of Haemonetics. Rich supported the rapid growth of the Europe-Covidien relationship over the last 3 years, ensuring that our interns and alums have strong seats there. He has been a guest speaker for our young adults and serves as a mentor to one of them. Rich also serves as a key mentor to me and has helped me think smarter about Europe Providence's doubling in size. His commitment to living a meaningful life in service to others is what has drawn me and so many others to him. He gives himself without fanfare to those who most need his presence, and he is more likely to be serving in a soup kitchen or traveling to a country in crisis than attending a fancy party. So I guess we're lucky he's with us today. We are so honored to have him as our keynote speaker today. Ladies and gentlemen, Rich Melia.
You did a great job. Well, good morning, everybody. I just need to take care of a little Covidien business because I know there's a lot of Covidien people here. And Pamela, with whom is your interview on Thursday? Because I think we need to move it up to this morning. Okay, so if anyone is here who's supposed to interview Pamela Thursday, please make that connection today, okay? We don't want to lose a good fish here in the water. First, congratulations to the graduates. You've heard the stories, and it's so hard to get ahead in this life when you're starting on even ground, and it's even more impressive when you do what you've been able to do when you haven't had everything lined up in your favor. So it's very impressive. You should be very proud of what you've done. I've had the opportunity to see Year Up through a couple of different lenses. I was running Covidien at the time that fortunately Cynthia Ward, who's here, she really began the whole initiated the whole connection between Covidien and Year Up. But I was able to see how the involvement with Year Up improved our organization. And then this past year, I live in Boston, so I was a mentor to a young man, 20-year-old young man from El Salvador, who was in the Boston Year Up program. And I had this chance to see how Year Up changes the lives can change the life of an individual. So I've really had a pretty good perspective and a long relationship, with Megan to help me have an even greater appreciation. So as I thought about today's comments, I just began thinking about what is it that makes an organization like this, a not-for-profit, work. And you can probably come up with all kinds of characteristics, but I looked at it and I thought, well, you need to have the right model, you need to have the right leadership, and you need to have the support of the key constituencies that are all part of delivering what the model is trying to deliver. And then I began to think about how does that connect to Year Up. And if you think about the model, it clearly works. I mean, you're going from 10 to 12 in the next couple of years. Megan's doubling in size here. It clearly is a model that not only works, but is sustainable and can be leveraged as we apply the appropriate resources to make this model even more impactful. So it's got a great model. And then you talk about the leadership, and I can't speak to the overall global leadership of Year Up. I don't know anybody there really well. So I'm really speaking to the leadership here at Year Up Providence. And you've seen Megan, and only Megan could pull off coming up here with her jacket off, put it on, start saying stuff in the middle of that. There's such a kind of a grounded reality to what she does, and yet I have been so inspired by her hard work, how tirelessly she works, how she garners the commitment and the loyalty of the people around her, and then she makes the entire organization here at Year Up so effective. I've had the opportunity to work with her on kind of one-on-one sessions over the last 3 or 4 years, and she doesn't know, but I've probably benefited more than she has from the times we've had a chance to just talk about different things involved with running an organization. And so clearly you got great leadership, and that's one of the reasons why this is working so well. And I don't know where you're going to hold it the next year when you're planning to double the number of students, but clearly that's an issue that speaks favorably about the leadership. And then you talk about the constituencies. And here I think we're talking about the students, the companies that we need to have as partners to provide the jobs, and then the advocates, the mentors, the advisors, the staff that help support. And just taking those one at a time, the constituency of the students, there's no question that it's real. It wants to be part of this program. There's plenty more where these bright young people came from, and clearly this constituency is one that this part of this constituency is one that's really tied to the success of what Year Up's trying to do. And then if you look at the companies, I've really had the I've been retired now for a little more than a year and a half, and this morning I had a chance to meet with some of the Covidian people. In fact, if you're with Covidian, just raise your hand just to get an idea. And so it's been fun for me to meet some of the people I haven't seen for quite a while. But I was, I give a lot of credit to Cynthia for getting this going, and Teresa Hakunda for keeping it, moving with momentum. And I was speaking with this woman, Lisa, who runs our the Covidian customer service department, and we were just talking about how well the relationship is going between Covidian and Year Up, and she said something like, well, once you just have the opportunity to work with these people, how can you not want to do more of it? And that's just like a testimonial as to why this works and why it's been so successful at Covidian. And then finally the whole advocacy notion, being a mentor, and how that is such a key part for me, to be with this young man and to see him change. I mean, I had seen Year Up work from a broader perspective, but to go one-on-one with a young man and to see him change so dramatically from someone who had trouble making eye contact, a firm handshake, the sense of presence was lacking, to suddenly, 8, 9 months later, this person is now full of confidence. And what was so gratifying, he graduated last night. He won the Technology Award. And anyone who knows my capabilities of technology there was no mentoring of that. But he received 3 job offers. And he said to me, and I'll never forget these words, he said, suddenly I feel important. And how cool is that for a 20-year-old man who moved here from El Salvador at 14? And now he feels important. So I think everything is lined up for this organization to continue to thrive. I guess the only question is, how do we keep it going? How do we help Megan and her staff grow? And I'm speaking to anybody in this room. It's kind of like preaching to the choir. That's why you're here. But if you're responsible for working with these young students or making decisions about how many and when you can bring these young students in, think carefully. I know my successor has already agreed to significantly increase Covidian's commitment to Year Up. And I would ask you to do the same thing. It works for the company. When people, your employees, are seeing you as an organization in the course of your business try and help out those who are disadvantaged, they feel better about your company. And the better people feel about your company, the more work they're going to do, the more value they're going to bring. So think about how many you can take and try and find a way to take more. And if you know people who can take these young people and be partners with Year Up, reach out to them. And all you have to do is sick Megan on them. That's all you have to do. It's not heavy lifting. It's just connecting the dots. This is something very special here. I'm really proud to be part of it. I thank Megan for giving me a chance to speak before you today. It's great to see all my Covidian friends. I do have to go catch a plane to go see my daughter in Mexico, but it was great to be here, and thank you.
Bobby, I'm sensing there's a little uncertainty about what happens next. Perfect.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Oneida Escobar. I'm 25 years old, and I'm from Providence. I would like to personally thank Rich Media for being our keynote speaker this morning. Both Year Up and Covidian have made significant impacts in my life. Before Year Up, I earned $100 a week at a restaurant and was on public assistance to support my young son. Year Up gave me the opportunity to build my professional skills, and Covidian gave me the opportunity to put my foot in the door at such an amazing company. I started at Covidian as the first ever Year Up intern a few years ago. Now I'm a Year Up graduate from class 2010, a Year Up board member, and I'm also a proud mother of my young son, Giovanni. I'm also just recently been promoted to a team lead position in the help desk, where I can help manage a group of 5 employees. I recently graduated from CCRI, and I just enrolled at URI to earn my bachelor's degree. Thank you. Once again, I want to thank Covidian for its connection to Year Up. The impact Covidian has made on Year Up students and alumni is measurable. Covidian is our fastest growing partner since I started as an intern in 2010. This semester alone, there are 7 interns at Covidian, and there are a total of 22 Year Up graduates currently employed at Covidian. Rich, I wish to personally thank you for the opportunity you and your company has afforded to me and so many of my Year Up colleagues. I'm proud to represent Covidian on Year Up's board, and I'm inspired by your remarks that you so kindly shared with us today. At this point, we're going to transition to recognize 2 additional supporters of Year Up. 2 Year Up Class 15 graduates, students, will be graduates, present the Outstanding and Mentor Volunteer Awards.
Thank you.
At Year Up, a mentor is a corporate or community leader from the Rhode Island area who commits to meeting one-on-one with a Year Up student. Many of you are here today. You are executives at your companies, elected officials, CIOs, and IT and HR directors. You are individuals who care to see Year Up students have access to professional coaching and networking. And most importantly, you, who believe in us and offer us the support we need to stand on this graduation stage today. Good morning. My name is Whitney Gums. I am 19 years old, and I interned at Hasbro as a human resources intern. When I started the Year program, I was told I would be assigned a mentor. I never had a mentor before, and I didn't really know what a mentor was. But as the program progressed, I anticipated learning about my mentor and who he or she would be. I soon found out that Teresa Hackenda was her name, and her title, Vice President of Civic Affairs at Convidian. Knowing her name and her title didn't help my understanding of what a mentor was. I believed that the matching of us was thoughtful, and I was looking forward to learning more about her. I remember trying to figure out how to pronounce her name. Was it Hakunda or Hakunda? I was nervous, but I could tell she understood that. She was pleasant, inviting, and she overshadowed those moments of my awkward silence that I greatly feared. From early on, our relationship grew. Teresa gave me opportunities to prove myself as a young professional while challenging me to view things differently. I've learned so much from her, and I appreciate her for being such an accepting person. Teresa planned for a shadow day of her normal workday at Convidian. The morning started bright and early at 6:45 a.m. to get to a community meeting at Brigham's and Women's Mass General Clinic at Patriots Place. On the drive there, I was nervous to know that I'd be in a professional meeting representing Year Up, as well as hoping to leave a professional impression on my mentor for the first time. I expressed to Teresa how I felt, and she told me not to be nervous. She helped me be confident in who I was as a Year Up student. Teresa, I'm so thankful for that. One of my favorite things about being Teresa's mentee is that she made me feel confident and comfortable enough to speak about certain insecurities I had about my personal life and professional career path. Her caring advice was always said with very good intentions. She acknowledged my challenges and always offered assistance. I will never forget the look on Teresa's face when I would tell her good news, whether it was something about Year Up or something even in my personal life or being a Hasbro human resource intern. She acknowledged my challenges and always offered assistance. I could see the excitement on her face and feel how truly happy she was for me. Teresa Kunda is my definition of a mentor. Teresa, please join me on stage to accept the Outstanding Mentor Award.
Good morning. My name is John Torres, and today I am graduating from Year Up. This journey was not easy, but I received the support I needed in order to make it this far. In fact, there was one individual who stood by my side and made a huge impact on me, my mentor, Bob Shea. When I got accepted into Year Up, I was told that I would be paired up with a mentor. Then I asked myself, what do I need a mentor for? Don't I have all the support that I need? Before Year Up, I did not have a mentor or the support that I'm lucky to have today. Little did I know that this new relationship was going to help change my life. When Bob and I first met, I didn't really know what to expect since we didn't know each other, but that's also what I liked about it. However, I couldn't help but wonder, was he going to be cool? What if we don't get along or he doesn't like me? During the kickoff to Meet Your Mentor breakfast, all the staff and students kept telling me, John, Bob was looking for you, which I found funny because I was looking for him as well. When we finally met, a big weight was lifted off my shoulders because I knew from that moment on that me and Bob would get along. Our first meeting was quick due to the fact that he had to attend another meeting, but we did swap contact information. He even included his house number, which to me was a big deal. In our conversation, Bob shared that he was the vice president and chief financial officer of CCRI. Talk about a big deal, huh? My excitement continued to grow from there. A couple of weeks passed, and I had the courage to set up a lunch meeting to get to know him better. Our first meeting was awesome. We shared great stories and exchanged lots of laughs, which to me was a good sign. Bob treated me with respect, as well if I was one of his own. I really appreciated that type of care since I was away from my parents. He even introduced me to his wife, Tracy, who also treated me with respect. I felt like I had a second set of parents, which I didn't mind at all. In my heart, I wanted Bob to be recognized because he's been there for me no matter what. During each and every one of our meetings, he would ask me things like, what were my plans after a year up? Where did I see myself in 5 years? Those are questions I don't really ask myself when I'm alone, so I'm thankful that he was asking them. He even helped me when I didn't ask for help, especially during a time when I was struggling on my internship. Whenever I felt the need, I drew inspiration from his positive attitude. When I was in trouble, he worried about me, which showed that he actually did care. His commitment towards me was more than I ever thought possible. One of my biggest highlights during my year up journey was when Bob pushed me to register to vote for the first time. I didn't really have a care for politics, but when I voted and submitted my ballot, the feeling that I got was something I couldn't explain, and I owe it all to Bob. This morning, Bob is being recognized with a very special award because he was more than just a mentor to me. As a board member year up, Bob has represented us as a key voice in closing the opportunity divide and deepening our relationship with community colleges across this country. He mentors students who graduated before me, and he helped to connect us all to CCRI deans. Which ultimately led us to an on-campus orientation. More importantly, he ensured that my colleagues and all future year graduates will graduate from our program with half of an associate's degree under their belt. I am proud to say that I'm a college student because of Bob, CCRI's president, Di Pasquale, and many others from their leadership who are with us today. I am so thankful to you all. Bob, I promised myself that I will continue with my studies. In fact, I have already initiated my class registration for next semester. You once said to me, the way you repay me for all this is by crossing that graduation stage and completing the year up program. Well, today is that day, and I hope I made you proud. Thank you for your leadership and believing in Year Up and my colleagues, but more importantly, thank you for believing in me.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jackie Henry, and I'm one of the site leaders for Year at Providence. I'm here to present this year's Excellent Award winner. I had a hard time thinking about how I could describe this person in 3 sentences or less. See, Bobby, I do listen. This year's award winner is someone who could be described as a quiet leader. He was recognized a total of 4 times in the year he spent with us for high points and perfect attendance. Oftentimes, with a mischievous grin. Although his internship at Amica has come to an end, I am very confident that his name will be associated with one of our amazing corporate partners sometime soon, based off of the passion and the energy I've watched him to devote to his job search. It is my honor and my privilege to welcome to the stage Savan Leong, this year's Excellent Award winner. Now, when I think about the next speaker, I think of one word: phoenix. Merriam-Webster defines a phoenix as a legendary bird. I would argue that they should amend their definition to include a picture of your next speaker. Handling some of life's toughest circumstances, often with grace and humility, this young woman continues to amaze me. She's never given up on herself, and she doesn't make excuses. Like the legendary bird, she has risen from the ashes of her circumstances to grab hold of a future that she's designed by her own hands. It is my honor to welcome to the stage Hanifa Abdullah.
Good morning. Good morning. A year and a half ago, I would never have imagined that I'd be standing here in front of all of you today. And if I never heard about the Europe program, I would have missed out on an amazing opportunity. I'm glad I have this opportunity to share some of my personal journey with you. Resilience is a word that has always described me. The dictionary's definition is the ability to recover readily from illness, depression, adversity, or the like. I try to see the good in things, people, and all situations. Throughout my life, I have enrolled in 17 different schools, lived in 20 different places, in 4 different states and 2 different countries. When I was 6 years old, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. As she grew weaker, I knew I had to get stronger. I watched my mother deteriorate, losing her hair, strand by strand, and ultimately her ability to walk. On Thursday, June 14, 2001, the center of my world passed away. The happy family I had once known and loved was gone, and I knew my life would never be the same. Shortly after my mother passed, I moved to New York with my father, older brother, and sister. My dad then remarried, and we relocated to California with my new step-family. Unbalanced arguments between my stepmom and father led to him being removed from our home and us being dragged along with him. The years following were tumultuous, including moving back and forth between extended family, homes, shelters in Georgia, Rhode Island, and California. May 2007, I found myself on a plane seated next to my siblings en route to West Africa, Ghana. My stay in Ghana was short. I was there, I turned 14, and was there for 11 months before my journey back to the United States. I was done with being moved around from place to place at this point, and my sister and I told my father we were going to stay in Rhode Island. I'm happy to say it's been 5 years, and I haven't lived in another place since. Rhode Island is the first place I've lived in for more than 2 years in a row since I was 7 years old. Despite the challenges I faced in my personal life, I excelled in school. I managed to keep my grades up, graduating on time from high school. With a lot of help from my high school's college guy, Justine McGilvery, I got into URI. At URI, I was a talent development student where I had to take courses over the summer to prove I was a good fit for the school and that I could handle the college environment and classes. As an independent student, I had to learn everything on my own. Every now and then, I would get help from my older sister who would help me make big decisions, but I had the responsibility to make sure all my deadlines were met. I passed the summer program without a problem, and I started as a full-time student at September 2011. However, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had rushed into attending college without fully thinking things through. I knew that if I kept the loans that I took out to cover my tuition, there would be no way I could pay them back. And to top it off, I got a letter in the mail saying I had 14 days left of having the opportunity to cancel my loans. That put a stamp on my decision. Before the month was over, I left the school without looking back. I left seeking opportunity to reach my goals in a way that worked for me. I felt everything happens for a reason. Every abrupt turn is meant to be. Risks are meant to be taken, and challenges live to be faced. Year up, I was 1 out of 40 students given a year to change my life. The importance of this opportunity was not wasted on me. There was no way I let days, weeks, and months go by without taking advantage of what was in front of me. I wanted to be in the position I saw other alumni. I yearned to be one of the people whose stories were captured in videos and screened to prospective students. Once I got in, I promised myself I'd follow through and take a chance with this program that took a chance on me. This meant getting to Europe on time, whether it was walking, riding my skateboard, my bike, or relying on my Uncle Ripta. I used every tool available to me. I got there and I grew in my confidence that if I continued to fight for my success, I too could become a role model and a success story. When it was announced I earned my internship at FM Global as a service desk technician, I was nervous and excited. I knew that I was only halfway through the program and that more than ever, I needed to make every second, minute, and most importantly, every day count. At the beginning, I took the initiative to learn as much as possible. For example, I learned how to do video conference reservations, and it was one out of very few people on my team who knew how to do them. I knew that if I learned and mastered this one task, I could give back to my team in a very concrete way. I yearned to give back to them who had also taken a chance on me. I am extremely thankful to God who gave me the strength and faith to push forward. Thanks again to Justine McGilvery who told me about the Europe program. I want to thank Europe CEO Gerald Chertavian for following through with his vision to close the opportunity divide. I also want to thank Sarah Enright and Megan Hughes for working to develop a success-driven staff who contributed tremendously in molding us into the young professionals we are today. I want to thank my mentor, who works for Senator Sheldon Whitehouse as a senior policy advisor and projects director, Relia Abiati, for volunteering for the Europe program and helping me stay on my feet ever since I met her. Thank you also to my advisor, George Nippo, for pushing me to influence others and build on my strengths. Thanks to this opportunity, I have accepted a full-time position at FM Global as a security administrator, where I was an intern for 6 months. With that said, I'd like to thank my service desk team. With that said, I'd like to thank my service desk team leader, Craig Silva, and my manager, Roger House, for believing in Europe's mission and adding to the support Europe developed. This really was a Europe for me. I'm glad that my life has taken the course that it has, because the experience, loss, change, and pain I have endured have created the strong, helpful, kind, and authentic person I am today. Thank you.
Thank you, Anifa, for sharing your personal story of resilience. You are a true inspiration to all of your colleagues. We're so proud of you that you were the first hire in our class, that you have already started your job with FM Global. My name's Kakrona Sultan, and I'm 21 years old. At this time, I would like to introduce George Nippo, Europe's Program and Academic Director, along with Europe's Board Chairman and my mentor, Ted Fisher, who will be presenting Class 15's diplomas.
So quickly, I'm just going to ask my fellow board members to come up and line up and that side to come after for the certificate presentation. So Bobby's been texting me. Megan just kind of elbowed me that we're a few minutes behind schedule. So typically what they do when we're behind schedule is they give me the mic. Kidding, Bobby. Just kidding. Good morning. My name is Ted Fisher, and as most of you know, I am the humble chairman of the Board of Europe Providence. And it, as you can see, is one of the most rewarding and amazing experiences that I've ever had. And I'm humbled every minute that I get to spend with these young adults. I'm so fortunate that I get to meet these young adults early in their Europe process and really witness the transformation through their year and luckily beyond, so many of them in our community. Kakrona, my mentor, he called me his mentor, but really I remember one specific day where we typically do a quick lunch together, and he said, "Do you mind if we just go for a walk instead of going to lunch?" And on that walk, he shared some things with me that made me understand that there are challenges and then there are challenges, and what these young adults overcome and have overcome to be here. And really, I love the word resiliency because every single one of them should be the picture in the dictionary of resiliency. Just when I thought, I usually break down 5 or 6 times at graduations. Today was about 10, so I'm setting new records as well. I wanted to thank Rich, who I know had to leave, but for really recognizing what a tremendous organization. And I would be remiss, as Megan got to announce earlier, that Class 15 has set a record over the last highest retention, highest graduation rate in 4 years nationwide. And every couple of months I get on a call with the other 10 board members, and it's not bad to be able to say that you're leading in just about every category. That wouldn't be possible without the incredible team at Europe. Some people have described me as passionate in my life, and the bar keeps getting raised the longer I get to work with Megan and the team at Europe. Just unbelievable. As you look around this room and the standing room only crowd, Megan, where are we going next year? Because we are doubling. It is absolutely all of you that make this possible. Rich used one word, and not but disadvantage, which is a word. I actually listen to these young people. I think they're the most advantaged people I've ever heard. What they lack is opportunity in most cases. Anybody who wasn't impressed and inspired, typically I try and say something here about what an amazing thing. If we need to do that at this point, I think we've sort of all missed it, right? It speaks for itself. And I thank all of you for what you do every day to make this program amazing and to be our alums and represent us. 2 quick logistics. This would not be possible without an amazing board who are committed and passionate, some of whom stand to my left. And for the first time, we actually have outgoing board members after sort of 10 years. So many of these folks have been with us. We put some, wanted to make sure we were continuing to get new folks and diversity and things on our board. And so I want to recognize our outgoing board members. And I told them this at our last board meeting, that Europe is a life sentence. So although their term on the board may be over, they are still part of Europe forever. But Bob Shea, who was recognized earlier, who, despite not being cool, I guess had some other attributes that really worked for his. Armitha Gibbs, Pete Hayes, who's one of the founding board members, Tom Caffrey, Mark Streisand, and Dave Moderano. Most of those folks have served for between 5 and 10 years on this board, and it has really been a fantastic experience. I would also like to welcome 2 new board members that have joined the Europe board, Don Stanford, who was mentioned earlier, and Barbara Goldner. So thank you so much for agreeing to be part of. I was sitting next to James Patel, who I know his crazy travel schedule, and he picked up his card, and the first thing he checked off his mentor. And I looked at him, I said, "Guess what? That'll be the greatest thing that you get to possibly do at Europe." And if Jane Patel, who travels all over the world, could be a mentor, I promise you, you could do it too. I highly recommend it. My favorite part about Year Up. But the partners in this room and the folks that make this possible recognize, Ray DiPasquale for, awarding the diplomas. And let me tell you that dual enrollment agreement that we have with CCRI is because we have champions who believe in the work that we do, and I can't thank you enough. It is changing the lives of so many people, and we thank you, Ray, for your leadership. So now I'm going to introduce a good friend and one of the leaders at Year Up, and I was participated sort of begrudgingly in the talent contest for class. Where's class 16? Are you out there? All right. So I got a couple things to say to you. You got big shoes to fill here. So setting more records is good for me because I get to brag about it. So I'd appreciate your help there. But for any of you who were at the talent show and got to see George Nippo do his 1980s rap start to finish, it was something to behold. So George, thank you for the great work you do.
Thank you, sir. I think what he's actually trying to say is you should be thankful that you weren't there for it. So thank you, Ted. So my name is George Nippo. I'm the Program and Academic Director here at Year Up Providence, and it's with great pleasure today that I get to award all of you with not only diplomas today, but with citations from Governor Chafee, from Congressman David Cicilline, from Senator Jack Reed, and Providence's Mayor Angel Tavares. So thank you to all of you for being here, and I'm just going to get right to it. You guys ready? I think they're ready. So the first graduate who I'd like to call to the stage is Alex Londano. Graham Renovales. Christopher Alberto. Cristina Velasquez Merches. Daniel Carrasco. Efren Reyes. Engers Reyes. Francesca Nunez. Genesis Camacho. Hanifa Abdullah. Jeff Gore. John Torres. Jordan Arushia. Joshua Navarro. Kekrona Sothan. Kenneth Watts Waters. Lamar Dawson. Linda Kittereth. Lisa Barlow. Maria Dillon. Melissa Hernandez. Oneida Cornelio. Pamela Diaz. Pamela Robinson Jones. Peter Chung. Ronald Rosario. Roshik Hendy. Savan Leong. Sumilet Hong. Terrence Hardy. Terry Che. Whitney Gums. Xavier Burrell. And Sulema Chavez. Big congratulations to all of the graduates from Class 15. If I can ask all of you to work your way back up to the stage, please, as well as Jafet and Oneida, to take the alumni pledge. Thank you and congratulations again.
I think it's your turn. Yeah.
Oh wow, we're almost done. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes, my name is Jafet. I go with Jafet, but my first name, you don't want me to tell you to repeat my first name. Sengiyumva. Well, I am a class 14 graduate, and I am claims correction assistant at CVS Caremark and taking classes at CSRI in accounting program. Well, while you may graduate of the year up, the work is just getting started. So you can get ready for work, and if you need a vacation, code the weekend for it, and then get ready for work on Monday. What I'm saying is for my colleagues here, you've been working hard, and it's time to go to work. I'm getting time for my friend here, Oneida, so she can say something.
It's also very important for us to recognize Class 16 who's here with us today. They were a wonderful host for our morning. And they're just about to start their internships, or they started their internships, on Monday. It's now your turn to create the success you saw today and prove to your companies that their commitment to you and Year Up is a valuable investment. So before we conclude today, I would like to ask the graduates of Class 15 that are around the podium to take the Year Up Alumni Oath. You will join over 300 alumni who are actively contributing to our corporate partners' companies and continuing with their education and remain connected to Year Up through the Alumni Association. Graduates, please repeat after me. I pledge.
I pledge.
That as an alum of Year Up Providence.
That as an alum of Year Up Providence.
I will continue to support and uphold.
I will continue to support and uphold.
Year Up's mission and core values.
Year Up's mission and core values.
I will pursue success.
I will pursue success.
And realize my potential.
And realize my potential.
I will challenge myself and my fellow alumni.
I will challenge myself and my fellow alumni.
To strive for excellence.
To strive for excellence.
And achieve all personal and professional goals.
And achieve all personal and professional goals.
I will volunteer my service.
I will volunteer my service.
To expand Year Up's impact.
To expand Year Up's impact.
And commit to.
And commit to.
Closing the opportunity divide.
Closing the opportunity divide.
And be a lifelong representative of Year Up.
And be a lifelong representative of Year Up.
Thank you all for joining us with Class 15 graduation, and we're looking forward to seeing you on Class 16 graduation on July 31st. Thank you so much.
I guess we can stay here.
I ain't got time for that shit.